This episode, we focus on a portion of the Denton County Courthouse Square Historic District. Walking to our destination, I passed by plenty of buildings that help to tell the story of Denton's history. The property in the spotlight for this episode has a history that you may not know about.
Today we're at 200 West Oak Street. This building used to have a second floor on it. And it was at this site, on that second floor, that in 1890, the Texas Normal College and Teachers Training Institute had its first class in a space that was provided by the city of Denton. From that college, you have the University of North Texas, which later relocated west of here. Today, we're going to have a look at the first floor of this building, what's left of it, and some of the beauty that is still here today.
It's fun in the search of what you're doing when you go into this game of taking things that aren't just green field building, but actually going through and loving on them and figuring out, okay, what happened here?
Joining me today is Eric Pulido, a commissioner on the city's Historic Landmark Commission, and John Sparky Pearson, who is the current leaseholder of the historic property we are touring today. Let's take a look inside. Here we are in the, what was originally, half of this was a barber shop, right?
Just a small piece of it over here to the left. The rest of this was a storage for the furniture business.
Sparky is rehabilitating this property with an eye towards keeping the historical features of the building intact. Let's see what stories he has uncovered here in the early stages of this process. Like, for example, that fireplace.
We're planning on leaving it and cleaning it up, and we just think it's a funky, fun feature that it's like, sure, why not?
And we have this great pressed tin ceiling.
That was actually under woodwork, under sheetrock, so that wasn't even exposed until we took the demo out.
And now I'm realizing, well, that was wallpapered, right?
It was. And that's the strings on it, you can tell.
Yeah. This is the old cheesecloth, which is the way that wallpaper was hung previously. You would stretch thin layers of cheesecloth and nail it down very tight, and that tightness would hide the seams of the wood, and then you could glue the paper to it and have a really flat surface.
Look at the notes that were written on the paint.
Oh yeah. Wow, there's in the delivery or
Yeah.
Bolton on
I got
125 West.
It's like,
something.
I don't have anything to write on. I got an order, and I wrote down, okay, I got to get this over the baker's house today.
Was this one storefront right that we're here? Is this two?
It's going to be one store,
Yeah.
but we uncovered all the shiplap.
Removed another wall, and lo and behold, we've got this great shiplap and even some old advertisements. It looks like we had a vendor, and we looked at those old street photos, right? And what were they selling? And here, this is golden crown lettuce, and this is another type of head lettuce, and more lettuce, and these vendors. All this is really just part of the history of that space. And when you're in here now, if you can kind of use your imagination, you can figure those cars sitting right out here.
Oh, yeah.
Or somebody vending some lettuce and things in here.
What's cool is when you go in here to talk to Jimmy, when they ground the floors down, they found the old red in the paint from the floor of the Safeway. It's kind of crazy. And then I look at the age of that picture and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that.
I want to say welcome to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for letting us come into your store today. And
No problem.
this is such a great space. What can you tell us about it? I know this brick background. We're seeing this really dramatic brick.
Well, we brought the brick in from Chicago. It's over 100 years old, so they laid it and tried to make it look original to the space, trying to tie up with the ceiling, trying to tie the brick into our original cabinets. And so I think when you look at it, you really can't tell that it wasn't here. This place was a Safeway grocery store, so I'm assuming at that point is when they lost the original wood floor, tore it out, and then came in and laid the concrete. And in that process, they mixed the dye completely through basically about 1.5 to 2 inches of solid red concrete. And when we started grinding out the floor, the process turned into what should have been about a 4 or 5 day process, about a 2.5, 3 week process. And we took out over 8,000 pounds of sludge, which is what they call that when they grind down the concrete. You can still see the red is in the floor, but we kind of brought that back to life and gave it our own little spin.
We have taken a step back in time on the corner of Oak and Elm Street. We have seen some of this building's history, its secrets, its potential, and we have heard from the person in charge of its future.
And what's really fun about doing this kind of stuff is the fact that this whole area was built for commerce. And that's why it's here. It wasn't built for museums, it wasn't built for that kind of stuff. It was built by folks that actually lived in the town and came down to work. And so it's fun to come back and think, how do we bring these things back to life where people can enjoy them and things can be done just like they were built originally and constructed to do. So it's fun, and to bring unique things to the area, that's what we do.
So be sure and peek through the windows next time you're on the square and watch the preservation process in action as this historic building starts its next chapter in Denton. And you can watch more videos about the City of Denton at youtube.com/City of Denton. Be sure and subscribe to be alerted of other Preservation Denton episodes when they become available. For the City of Denton, I'm Roman McAllen. Thank you for watching.